steady hand.
Digging it.
Hey, so what are your intentions with this thing?
Total shop truck. We're gonna master that vintage feel. We're gonna put a distressed logoing system on it. We're gonna kind of do that whole, you know, I hate the term rat rod, but I think we're gonna do something of a, let's call it a rockabilly rod. That way we're not saying we're gonna make it crappy looking, we're gonna make it right.
Well, it looks like the dog's digging it.
Yep. Tank, is that your new rod, boy? Tank sled. I'm thinking no bumps in the front, man. What do you think about plating over like it never existed?
I know somebody that can do that.
I'm really excited about this project. This is the 1957 Ford F100. What it has in it for a power plant is a 351 Cleveland with a C4 automatic transmission. Now I'm not going to church this up and make you think this is a mint truck with all the pluses in the world, because it's not. In fact, it's got its fair share of issues. We're going to be making some rust repairs, but more importantly, we're going to do a lot of extensive modifications to this truck. This truck's going to be the shop truck. It's going to have our advertising logos on it. It's going to be basically an extension of what we do. As you've seen in the entry into this, we have a lot of different things going on in the shop. We've always been passionate about our Alfa Romeos and all our other European makes that we love to work on, but we also have our passions for our American vehicles as well. This is a project I've been wanting to do for probably about 20 years. I've always wanted a 57 Ford F100 step side. We all have our thing. This is mine. I'm not really sure where the design cues are going to come from on this just yet, but I do know we're going to do lots of modifications. We're probably going to extend the body down, meaning giving it the effect that it's lower to the ground than it really is by fabricating metal work around the bottom of it. We special ordered some very cool wheels from Detroit Steel. If you've never seen Detroit Steel wheels, Google them. They are phenomenal. For those of you that tuned in for your European stuff, don't bother. It's not for you. It's for classic American steel. Now, storm clouds are coming. You can hear the back of the doors rattling because the wind and the rain are coming in. So it's kind of an ominous day, but what a great project to work on a Saturday. So effectively, we have the Detroit Steel wheels running 18-inch wheels in the front and 20-inch steel wheels in the rear. These are very cool, classic-looking wheels. It's hard to believe I can say classic and 20-inch wheel in the same sentence, but effectively that's exactly what it is. They're custom making the wheels for us for a very specific offset we're looking for. We're very excited about that happening, so we should have those in a couple of weeks, and we'll mount them onto the truck. We're effectively going to build the truck around the wheels. Yes, that is right. We're going to build the truck around the wheels. This is a very bizarre approach, but effectively this is exactly what we're doing. Okay, so the rear wheels are going to be 9-inch wide. Our tire tubs are not going to create that clearance, so we're going to extend the fenders out to accommodate those wheels. The fronts are going to fit underneath here. We're not looking to lower the truck so much as we are to make the truck lower to the ground. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean is we're going to modify all the sheet metal on the bottom of this truck to give it the appearance it's closer to the ground. Other things that are an absolute must, we're going to be putting front disc brakes onto this truck. A whole lot of old steel here. We need to be able to stop it much more efficient than what the old drums will do. Other than that, we're going to put in power steering. We're going to trick out the interior. Got lots of rust repair. And the paint scheme isn't really written in stone yet. We're not really sure what that's going to be. It just has to represent the company. Stay tuned. This is fun. This is going to be a sub-segment to our normal European stuff. Okay, so we got the 63 T-Bird that we are going to black out and make it absolutely trick and ready for Viva Las Vegas. We have this 57 Ford F100 that we're well in our way of building today. In fact, I'm going to start with some rust repair this morning. Give me an idea how excited I am about this. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning wanting to get down here to get going. I've been dying to get on this truck, and now today I get to do that. The other thing we have going on is we have that 57 Ford Skyliner over there. That is a very trick car. That's going back to an absolute original theme. The T-Bird's going to a semi-custom effect, and this is going full tilt, whatever we feel like effect. All in all, we got a lot of cool projects that are not European-based products that we're getting ready to start on. So you should probably stay tuned to the subset to our normal channel. Okay, this is the first thing we're going after. On both sides of the cab, underneath the A-pillar, the floor is rotted out right against the actual sub-chassis of the cab. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut out, see what we have to work with, and replicate our way back out of it. That's a term that's called reverse engineering, and what you're doing is you're very aware of what you have to work with, but you need to remove the cancer in order to know what you need to replace. So stay tuned, we'll show you how that is. Well, the wheels you see, we had custom made. They're made by a company called Detroit Steel Wheels. These are made in America and they are heavy. These are not meant for your drag car. They are heavy. They're about 50 pounds a piece. They're heavy steel. So what I'm going to do today is I'm getting these ready for paint. Because what we're going to do this year on this truck is we're not going to do the whole truck before summer. We're going to fix some of the key areas of rust, because it does have some down the door stuff, nothing major. We're going to fix the key areas of rust. We're going to completely do up the inside. One of the key things we have working on this truck is there's a distinct theme that we have figured out. We already have the seat done. It's a green seat, tuck and roll, vintage American 1950s, 1960s style seat. It's done in green with white. This entire truck's been done in green and white. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to get the foundation colors done on these wheels because I need to get tires on them. I'm widening the fenders of this. It's going to do two things for me. One, it's going to give it a very nice, clean, custom look. Two, if I'm looking at the truck from the front to the rear, I can now see the bed and it doesn't look so strange. We're going to do this in everything special. When we eventually start working on the inside of this thing, because it is next, as soon as I have the wheels and the rear fender clearance issues sorted out. We're going to do the inside. It's going to be completely done, very comfortable inside, and we're not looking back. That way, as I'm slowly working on the outside, I can at least drive in comfort. This is kind of the opposite approach that a lot of people like to take. A lot of people like to take restoration and just go straight for the jugular, tear it all apart and build it. Well, I kind of like the rough and ready look, but I like it when you have a very distinct touch that shows you have skills. So in this case, this is exactly what we're doing. We're gonna have the interior completely done. I'll have the wheels and the tires done. I'll have the truck a little bit lowered. We're just gonna put front disc brakes on it. Eventually we'll work our way around. Now the primary color of the truck is going to be a yellowish hued white with lots of pearl in it. Green candy accents, green metallic candy accents. It's gonna have a very clean look. So, but for now, I'm gonna get the wheels off and I'm gonna start getting them prepped and ready for paint. Today's paint day. It's rare that I get to work on my own stuff. It's a nice, quiet, very cold Saturday, and I'm gonna work on my own stuff for the first time in literally 6 months. Okay, so to back up and talk about what we have done here. When we first got the wheels in, they were in a raw state, and meaning they were just bare steel. So we have created a scratch to them, a mechanical linking process, if you will, so the primer would stick to them. So we applied the primer and we elected to go with a green epoxy. The reason we did that was for a couple reasons. Epoxy is really good battle against moisture, so we don't have to worry about water getting underneath that and lifting paint up off of it and creating rust. But the other thing is green epoxy that we use is a chromated epoxy, which means that it's not the most environmentally friendly stuff in the world, but what it does do is it has a good adhesion process to it. And it was nice it was green. I like to apply gold over green foundations. The reason that is because it gives the gold the more inherited traditional raw gold look. And so when we did that, we were able to create that more vintage feel that we wanted from the gold. From there, we applied 4 coats of green candy. The thing about candies is if you don't have the most ideal foundation on them, they tend to look a little, for lack of a better term, cheap. So once we put that 4th coat of candy on there, we got the depth we wanted out of it. The only problem is we may have had the depth, but we didn't have, I guess I would call it the substance. It looked a little too transparent. It looked weird. Okay, and I expected that. Certain candies will do that. Green is definitely going to do that. Okay, so when we did that on that last coat, which would have been the 5th coat of green, we applied the little green pearl in the green candy. What that did is it gave that depth a little more of a little less luster, but a little more substance. Okay, so now in the sunlight, granted, we don't have much sunlight these days, it has a lot of explosion off. It has a lot of pop, a lot of luster. So once I got the effect I wanted from putting green pearl in the green candy and applying it on the very last coat of green, it was time to clear coat. Now I elected to clear coat the green in an industrial level clear coat. This isn't the stuff you would ideally want to use on your car, because if you have runs in it or if it's orange pilly, you're not sanding it out. Once it's dry, it's rock hard, and it's very hard to do anything with, so you want to be able to lay it down the first time right. Okay. We tend to use the industrial clear coatings on cars that are going like to Pan America. You know, there's places where there's going to be a lot of rocks and things flying in the air. You want the paint to kind of, hold up against that. Okay, so anyway, so we shot this in an industrial clear coating, and then at that point the rims themselves were done. Now we had all the overspray in here because there was no point in taping that off. We're going to use that as our foundation to kind of help seal up the inner wheel. Once we sanded that back, it was time to lay this on. To you, this may look like just a straight up white, but it isn't. It's actually Cadillac diamond white. It has a ton of pearl in it, and again, in sunlight, it has a lot of explosion coming off of it, and it looks really good. At this point, these wheels are very glitzy, if you will, which kind of dictates the tone of the rest of the car. Now we have those tires on order. The tires we're going with are fairly high in profile. On an old truck like this with leaf spring suspension, I don't want rubber band tires because I don't want to fill every inch of the road of this truck. Okay, so anyway, we got our tires on order. They'll be here Monday. And then it's time to start focusing on the truck. The concept of where we're going with this truck has changed at least a half dozen times in the last few weeks. But one thing is for certain. We're still going to widen out these fenders so it clears the actual wheel. And we're going to bring the archway in to come around the wheel to kind of encapsulate it so it looks a little more proportionally correct. The truck itself is going to be green and diamond white. And there's going to be a lot of little accents that kind of tone it down a little bit because I don't necessarily want a whole lot of flash to the truck, but I definitely want it to be a very clean looking truck. So this is just the foundation of our project. Stay tuned to see how the rest of this goes, but you kind of get an idea where the theme's going.